Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the GM. It is your guy, Boulanger. Up next, did John Harbaugh give us a peek behind the curtain? Let's talk. I just got through watching John Harbaugh's post-game interview from last night, and I believe he took us behind the scenes, behind the curtain into who could be filling the last of the 53-man roster. Although there is one more game in the preseason left, I think the roster is becoming more and more concrete. Let's take a listen to John Harbaugh and see if he gives us any indication into who the Baltimore Ravens are leaning towards.
John, speaking of the Tyler Luke 5 of 6 tonight, I think the final numbers, a couple from outside of 50. Do you feel comfortable with him as your kicker?
Yeah, I do. He'll be the kicker. He'll be the kicker. He's earned it, and get another chance to get back out there next week and kick some more, and just keep improving. But I just appreciate the fact that he wants to make them all.
Yeah, first up, he talked about Tyler Luke. Now, we understood that from the time they released the UDFA kicker, we knew that Tyler Luke was going to be the guy. He performed well last week, missing a field goal, making a field goal. And then he comes into this week and he bangs out 4 or 5 kicks. I think it was 29, 36, 42, 51, and there may have been another one, but anyway, he was 100%. And if you paid attention to his kicks, they were going right down the middle of the goalpost, several of them from the left hash, and they had plenty of distance to go. And so John Harbaugh solidifies that Tyler Luke is the right now replacement for the former Raven legend, Justin Tucker. Looks like the Ravens kicking game may be in good hands. But he didn't stop there. When the questions kept rolling, John Harbaugh kept talking, which is not something he typically does. He typically tries to keep things close to the vest. But as John Harbaugh kept speaking and the questions kept coming, John Harbaugh, I think, took us on a deeper tour of who is making this roster. Let's listen.
And I know takeaways have been a focus for the defense. What did it mean to see those tonight? And then specifically Ruben Lowry, how would you evaluate his game tonight?
I tell you, Ruben comes around. He's around the ball. He's been doing that the whole camp. To get the turnover on the sudden change and to get the pick in the end zone right away and play the ball in the tough. That was not an easy catch. And he goes back and makes that play. Showed up numerous times, and also a number of guys did. I thought all the young DBs really stepped up and played well. I'm proud of that whole group. We can mention every one of those names. Those guys all played very well.
Yeah, when you listen to John Harbaugh speak about the young DBs, that's a holistic concept. But he spoke specifically about Ruben Lowry and how he's been around the ball, performing well, and he gets that turnover, right? Which is nothing short of what Ruben Lowry has been doing in the off-season workouts, OTAs, training camp, and now in a live game action. And that was my question in the players to watch. It was, will Ruben Lowry translate the practice performances into game performance? And that's exactly what he has done. And so I believe Ruben Lowry is the 53-man on the roster, right? And I don't know who's off just yet, but I do believe Ruben Lowry has done enough consistently to get on this roster. Let's listen to what John Harbaugh has to say about Adisa Isaac.
Do you have any update on Adisa Isaac?
Adisa has a dislocated elbow, so he'll be out for a few weeks at least. We'll see the extent of it.
John Harbaugh speaks about Adisa Isaac and how he had a dislocated elbow, which again is typically not John Harbaugh fashion. He typically says things like we have to get some examination, get an MRI, something like that, but he puts it out there and he gives sort of a timeline. So I believe that Adisa Isaac will start this season on the IR, meaning he will miss the first 4 games, which will give him plenty of time to be ready to go. Because he's only in his second season, his contract is pretty cheap. I believe it's a safe bet to say that his injury will give somebody else an opportunity to be on this team and see how things unfold over that first 4 weeks. It's kind of a safeguard. It's kind of a stash of Adisa Isaac until he's ready to go. But again, opens the door for somebody else to make this team who normally would have not. Next up, you're going to hear John Harbaugh talk about David Ojabo.
You guys have described Ojabo as a player with some upside. How much of that did you see on display tonight?
He played really well tonight. Very physical. He had a really good night from what I saw. I want to see some more, but I thought he played well.
When John Harbaugh speaks about David Ojabo, he speaks about David Ojabo having a good game, which now is 2 games in a row. When I spoke about David Ojabo last week after the game, I talked about how he showed some burst. He was good against the run and had a big time play last week, and he played consistently well this week. And so I think that David Ojabo was not in danger of making this roster. I think he was on the team, but with Adisa Isaac out possibly for the first 4 weeks, I think this is more certainty that David Ojabo will be on this team and that he will get some rotational minutes. This is a contract year for David Ojabo. And I think if David Ojabo shows enough, it has the potential to keep him on this roster long term.
Bo Brady has played a lot of snaps on special teams. We saw his defensive snaps decrease tonight. What have you seen from him from the last game to this game?
Bo's one of those guys. I mean, Bo's good enough to make the team, and he's right there with those decisions we're going to have to make. But I think I would be very comfortable, and with Bo being out there playing football for us, playing special teams, playing defense, he's only gotten better every single day. But he's proven himself. He plays good football when he's out there.
Keon Martin obviously had that safety early, a couple other nice plays. I mean, is that just to talk about games like this being opportunities for guys? Is that kind of the example A of that?
Example A. I mean, I put him in the category of those young DBs. I mean, he's probably the next guy that had huge plays out there. He covered well, and I had the one penalty on the ICT, I think it was, but covers well, and he's had that kind of camp pretty much all the way through.
Thanks, Coach. Let's close out right here. John Harbaugh references the young DBs once again, and this time he speaks about Kenyon Martin, and he talked about how he played well. He also spoke about Bo Brady playing well and his special teams acumen and all of those things. And so I believe that with Lowry making this roster, I think it's going to come down to what Bo Brady and what Martin show in game number 3. I think they're both on the edge. I think they both have done well. And unless somebody else goes down, I think one of them is off. Now, Martin has shown very, very well. Good in coverage. He will come up and support the run, but Bo Brady has shown just as well. And so I think it's just going to be who has done more in practice and who shows up and shows out in game number 3. So, man, I think it's going to be some tough roster cuts upcoming this week, but I don't think there'll be a lot of surprises. I think game 3 will absolutely have us guessing less and more certain about who's on the roster. So listen, let me know who you guys think is going to make this roster. Let me know of a guy you think may creep up in game 3 and make some noise. But until next time, I'm your guy Boulanger, and I'm out.